Leicester City gave it a good run. Well, Leicester City gave it a good run, and I think Leicester City can feel proud of themselves. But this was just a case of Leicester City got beat by the better team. And the way that Man City played is how Pep will want this team to pretty much play almost all the time, you know. Because I always say, like, City are very difficult to beat when they really keep the ball. And they protect the ball well, but not only protect the ball, they make the ball work. And I think what they've been missing in a lot of the games, and especially in the games that they've lost, is they've not been able to keep the ball. Most importantly, they've not been able to control the game. And once they lose control of the game and they're forced to do a lot to defend it, that is the way they can lose. Apart from one momentary lapse in concentration, this was an almost perfect game by Man City. And I think Leicester City could hardly pretty much impose their game onto Man City. Because I always say, like, look, man, the best form of defense is attack. And I felt that Leicester City needed to try and find an outball, or they needed to try and get periods in game where they were able to have sustained pressure on the Man City defense and force your opponent to do a lot more defending. But again, I think, look, when you look at that goal by Jamie Vardy, that is what I thought Leicester City should have done even more of, because they knew that, look, these City guys, they play with a very high line. The defenders are not that strong, they're not very astute, and the loss of Laporte is something that can be pinpointed. So once that ball came over to Jamie Vardy and he was sprinting, like, boom, this guy has us beating these guys. But you've got to give credit to Jamie Vardy, and for me, I hold my hands up, because I said, Jamie Vardy, show it to me in a big game. Show it to me in a huge game. Show me you're really about that life. And he was able to say, you know what, HH, I'm about that life. Check this G out, bruh. And it was a flipping quality G. It was an absolutely quality G. Because he had to time that thing to perfection. Not only time it to perfection to reach the ball before editing, but the kind of, because he had to lift it up. Because if it had gone down, Edison would have easily saved it. So the fact that he was able to reach it, it was so close cut, it was literally a split second, and was able to rise it and nestle it into the bottom corner. Got to give him all the credit in the world, man. But I think, you know, this is why Mahrez is so important. And this is why Pep needs a Mahrez, why he's actually been missing a Leroy Sané. Because you can have all the passing training in the world, you can do all of the techniques of, you know, passing, you know, I move here, move there, off the ball, and all of these different diagrams that I'm sure City will obsess about during the trainings. At the end of the day, sometimes you need somebody to say, screw the rule book. Let me do something to myself as an individual. And I think the beauty of Mahrez, I think what separates Mahrez from Sterling and Bernardo Silva is Mahrez has an amazing individuality about him. I mean, in terms of just natural footballing ability, Mahrez is superior to Bernardo Silva and Sterling. Just as Bernardo Silva and Sterling are very good tactically and work very well for what Pep wants. But at the end of the day, all that matters is the result. You cannot be a philosophy merchant. You have to be a results merchant once you're at this level of the game. And the way in which homeboy Mahrez was just saying, you know what, drive through, because at the end of the day, it was a deflection. But the deflection doesn't happen if Mahrez doesn't make the run, doesn't make space for himself, and doesn't execute that shot. So by him taking it upon himself to be like, I'm just not going to pass the ball or follow the instructions of Pep. I'm going to say, you know what, let me weave through, go past guys, and just go for the shot and see what happens. Hence why whenever things are stuck and everything, just shoot. Shoot, run with the ball, try and beat him, man, dribble with the man, run with the ball, go forward, be fearless, and that fearlessness is what really gave him that extra oomph. And I think, again, an almost similar situation with Sterling. Force the issue. You don't have to pass the ball. Try and stand the man up. Even if you get tackled, cool. But who knows? He may tackle it and he may bring it down, and he brought him down, boom, 2-1. And again, you just saw the beauty of it, De Bruyne, just why De Bruyne is so important. Again, right on the wing, seeing where Jesus is. You don't really see where Jesus is, but you see, and this is always my thing about crossing. And this is what my frustration about crossing, especially watching that garbage game of Everton-Arsenal. I'm not a fan of just crossing the ball without intent, because it makes no sense. For me, if you can't either do a cutback or do a scorcher along the floor, which De Bruyne always does, bro, just keep possession of the ball, or try and cut in on the inside, or try and beat your man on the byline. Just putting your foot to the ball, just crossing it up in the air. There's no point, and especially if you're a Man City team who have short players and no real top players who are good in the air, crossing the ball in the air is stupid. Hence why De Bruyne knows that no. We have shorter players, technical players who are quick. Put that ball on the floor. Because if De Bruyne had put that ball in the air, Jesus doesn't get there. Sterling doesn't get there. No one gets there. But putting that ball on the floor and everything, you know that's with Jesus' movement and his anticipation, there's a good chance that he will get there and he's able to get there, right place, right time. So look, I just think for Leicester City, look, I mean, it was an impressive performance. So you say to yourself, that what could they have done different tactically in the game? It's very difficult to say because Man City played so well. And this is what I always say. If a superior team plays an almost perfect game, 9.9 times out of 10, they'll beat the inferior team. Simple as that. The only chance an inferior team have of beating a superior team is if the superior team doesn't play the game to the best of their abilities. City couldn't have played any better with regards to keeping hold of the ball, snuffing out the opposition, apart from that lapse in concentration with Vardy, maybe another one where Vardy put the cross in. Controlling the game, but also making the opposition work. So not only keeping the possession of the ball, but actually passing the ball into space and creating space. And that's the key thing. So, and Pep would have, see, if City played like that against Man United, against Wolves, they beat those guys. They beat those guys. If they had kept the ball this well against a Liverpool, maybe you have a different kind of game. Maybe you have a very, very different kind of game. So, it was always very hard for Leicester City to really gain a foothold. But for boy Kelechi, should they have played? I don't know. Because I think he was on the bench, so maybe if just putting him in on the bench as the attacking midfielder. So if you maybe had Ian Shaw in there to maybe offer something as an attacking midfielder and to maybe play off of James Maddison, maybe that have done something, But I suppose Rodgers' tactic was, will sustain pressure, hit them on the break. Sustain pressure, hit them on the break. So maybe you could have said that they could have pressed a bit higher and taken a bit more risks and entrusted in the defensive qualities of their team and in Didi to snuff out any kind of transitions from Man City. So maybe they could have forced the issue a bit more. And I think that is what Solskjaer did so well with United, is that, they didn't just sit. Every time they had the ball, they really pushed men up, but I think they really utilized the wingmen well. So maybe that's what they were missing. I think that's the thing. The key thing that they were missing, because I just look at the difference in this game and the United game. In the United game, Daniel James and Rashford got that and they were very problematic for City. So whenever United had the ball, they were able to find their wider men who were speedy and very effective in the game. Leicester City did not have wider men as effective as United did. So whenever they had the ball, their only go-to was give it to Maddison, let Maddison try and find a ball over the top to Vardy. So it's all about trying to find Vardy and his speed. So it was very predictable. I think City, once they learned from that goal, Fernandinho ultimately be like, okay, right, we now know what their MO is. Let's try and close them out. But I just think, look, it's like City just played at a very, very high level. And it is very hard, because trust me, I've been in those situations at a very low level. Sure, at a very low level. Where when a team keeps the ball very well, it's very hard to actually get the ball off of them. And when you now get the ball off of them, because you've been having to chase the game for so long, once you have the ball, it is very hard for your brain to now switch in. So, okay, now what do I do with possession of the ball? Because you've been so used to not having the ball, it's very hard to now get into your rhythm of what you do when you do have the ball. So again, that is always City's game plan going into every game, to sort of overwhelm the pressure, overwhelm the opposition by how much possession they have. So looking at this right now, with regards to the Premier League table, if Liverpool take care of their games in hand, I think this might be great for Liverpool, because you now have a situation, if Liverpool take care of their games in hand, you now have both of your challengers are both 14 points behind. So they're now both in the same kind of similar situation. So right now, man, again, if Liverpool take care of their game in hand, it is looking, because then if Leicester City had won, then it's like, all right, City are now out of it, gone completely. And then it's about, all we just have to just look over our shoulder at Leicester City now. But now, man, with City winning, I believe Leicester might not be on the same amount of points now. I believe similar points also something. It's not a case of like, brah, I mean, boom. But look, man, because again, I just look at the body language of Pep. And I just saw how it was, go, like, geeing up the crowd, and just to, boy them on and just give them the motivation. So my thing is, because I just wish I was a fly on the wall in the dressing room. So is that a case of he really believes that they can still win this title, that we're going to go on an all-time winning run and we're going to put as much pressure as we can on Liverpool and just hope that they just keep on dropping points, and anytime they drop any points, we win. They drop points, we win. Or is it that let's just maintain a high level and bring that into the Champions League, especially for a monumental game against Real Madrid? Because I think if Real Madrid would be looking at that and be like, what can we do in transition and so forth? So yeah, man, good game, nice game. Rodgers did his thing, but I just think City's quality and superiority won them through. Remember to like the vid, put in a like. If you're new, remember to subscribe. Daily football vids coming through. And to support your boy, HH and his analysis and all different stuff, think about becoming a patron by clicking on the link in the description box below. Stay tuned for more daily football vids. I'm out. Peace. Remember to check out the halfupfootballhot.com for daily football news updates, daily polls, rankings updates, break updates by clicking in the description box below or by clicking over here.